Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video provides even more practice in using StatCrunch to conduct hypothesis testing on a population standard deviation. Let's get started. Alright, so we're back here to this example problem of the age of race car drivers. Everything's the same as we saw before. The only difference now is that the claim is that the standard deviation of the ages of all race car drivers is greater than 2.5. So to start off with, what are our hypotheses? You should be able to figure this out. So go ahead, pause the video, come up with your hypotheses, then come back and restart the video. We'll see how well you did. Okay, let's check this out. So first we're going to think about the claim. The claim here is that the standard deviation is greater than 2.5. And now we can write our null hypothesis. Just take that same claimed value and set it equal to the population parameter. The alternative hypothesis, we can usually take the claim for that, but only if there's no semblance of equality in the claim. We don't see any here. It's purely greater than, there's no or equal to here. So therefore we can just adopt that as our alternative hypothesis. So we've got a match there with our claim. And notice that inequality sign is like an arrow pointing to the right. So we have a right-tailed hypothesis test. What's the test statistic? Well, get into StatCrunch, put the data in there. Should be a file in our StatCrunch group for race car drivers, and get that, put that in StatCrunch, get your test statistic out, and then come back here to the video. We'll see how well you did. All right, let's check it out. So inside StatCrunch, you want to go to Stat, Variance Stats, because you're going through the variance. One sample, because you've got just the one sample. With data, because you've got actual data. Here in the options window, you want to start up top, select the column where your data is located. And then notice for hypothesis test, we have a different value for the claimed value. That's because this is set up to test on variance. So we have to take that claimed value we have for standard deviation and square it to get the variance. 2.5 is our claimed value. We square it to get 6.25, and that's the value that goes in. Once we got all our data in, go ahead and press compute, and now comes this lovely results window. And you don't need to do any adjustments to the numbers here. Just take them and run with them. So test statistic, as always, second to last value there in the results window. The p-value is always the last value there in the results window, right next door to the test statistic. And of course, when you see that less than 0.0001, that's essentially 0, so you just put 0 in your entry field for your p-value. We're going to reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis. Well, you go ahead and pause the video. You make the call. And once you've made your call, come on back and we'll see if you made the right one. All right, let's check this out. So if we use the p-value, we're going to compare the area of the p-value to this area here. This is the critical region or region of rejection. The right-tailed test, so it's here on the right. It's just the one tail. And notice how we've got degrees of freedom, so one less than the sample size. Put in our alpha here, 1%. That's the area in the shaded region under the curve here. We want greater than here, so we get the right side there. And then out comes our actual critical value, 29.14. However, using the p-value, we just compare it with the size of that critical region there. That's going to be alpha. So we take the p-value straight off the results window here. It's practically 0. So that's definitely going to be less than any significance value we're going to have, which puts us inside the region of rejection, and therefore we're going to reject the null hypothesis. Alternatively, look at our test statistic. 131. Woo, that's like, woo, way out here to the right, way off the screen. So definitely inside the region of rejection, and therefore we're going to reach the same conclusion, reject H0. What do you conclude from your hypothesis test? Again, pause the video, you make the call, and then come back and we'll see what how your call holds up. All right, let's see how you did. So, first step is look at the results for your test. So, we rejected the null hypothesis, and therefore there's going to be sufficient evidence. We have a one-tailed test, therefore we're going to support the claim, and the answer option with those two elements is this one, answer option C. So we reject the null hypothesis. That means there is sufficient evidence. We support the claim because you have a one-tailed test, and the rest of our statement is just a rehash of the claim itself. That brings us to the end of this mini lecture. Hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.